Hi, everybody. I'm Mike, and this is Mike Miller Talks Life. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing themselves. Leo Tolstoy. We are in a culture that is in need of many changes. So much is headed in an unhealthy direction. A lot of our world that was once consistent and helpful and stable is now turning upside down. Many things are in question and in need of changes. We hear messages about change the government, change the environment, change the way we treat people, change the church, change the schools, change healthcare, change law enforcement, on and on and on. I agree. We need change. Our world is our responsibility. We have to take care of it. And we've allowed some things to get out of control, and we need some changes. Tolstoy observes in his quote that perhaps the bigger need is that people would consider changing themselves. I think that may be true. Yet, very few are seeing their need for change. They're just calling people to make a change, but perhaps the best route toward big change in our society is personal change within each of us. When we make key changes, we will in fact begin to see the world around each of us change. Many wise men have made similar comments. Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. Albert Schweitzer, example is not the main thing in influencing others. It is the only thing. George Bernard Shaw, the best reformers start with themselves. The Apostle Paul, what you have seen in me, practice that. The whole idea of modeling the change you want people to make. We get caught up in all kinds of things because of the world situation, things we think need to be done, goals, programs, protest, organized programs to solve many problems. But ultimately, if what we say and what we're calling people to is not reflective of our deeper core self, our message is hollow, and we're just another voice among many. Working on ourselves is hard and demanding. And maybe that's why we look away from ourselves and start trying to change the world. But the world will not change unless we make changes in our own life. Personal change gives us credibility. We're attracted to people who are real, who are doing what they say, who practice what they preach. And I don't know about you, but I'm really tired of people who traffic unlived truth. I'm just tired of hearing it. When I hear a call to fitness, I want it to be from somebody who is fit. When I hear a call to healthy living, I want it to come from somebody who's actually living a healthy lifestyle. When I hear a call to a simple life, minimal lifestyle, I want it to be from somebody who's actually doing that. When in my world, as a follower of Jesus Christ, when I hear a call to spiritual truth and a stronger lifestyle of following Jesus Christ, I want that to come from somebody who's actually doing it, not just talking about it. I'm really not interested in going to a mechanic whose car never runs. That's not going to appeal to me. I think personal change gives credibility. I think personal change gives inner peace. It brings inner peace to our life. An incongruent lifestyle, people who are not living what they say or what they say they value, creates inner turmoil and stress. And this kind of a life will take its toll on us. But when we actually live the changes that we're calling people to, we begin to experience an inner peace and calmness. Like I said, change is hard. It is easier to talk about change, but it's really pretty hard to actually make solid, long-lasting changes. But change is important, and it is the better path to bringing about change in our world. I recommend that when we hear a message, a call to some kind of a change or something like that, maybe ask yourself first, is this an accurate message? Is this message really reflective of the true condition of our society? I mean, a lot of things that people say right now aren't really grounded in truth. They're just an opinion. They're just a conspiracy. And that, to me, is not really worth my time to listen to. And then, if you think it is true, then you want to ask yourself, does it really relate to me? You know, it may not be something that you need to respond to. I mean, we don't have to respond to every message. We do not always need to be changing our life based on every message we hear. That would be crazy. But if it's a message that you've sort of determined, yeah, it seems to be based in some truth, and also you just can't stop thinking about it, then you just assume this message is trying to get my attention about something. But don't change it. If you think it really relates to you, then you move to reflecting on it. Look at yourself. Examine yourself based on this information. Allow the message to sink in and work in you. Don't rush this. Process. Is there something you need to do to improve or strengthen yourself? Maybe make a major change. But I want to caution you here. We don't always need to be changing ourselves. You should be becoming more and more solid in who you are, what you are, so that when messages come along, you're just looking at it to strengthen and improve yourself. We really just want to close the gap between our words and our behavior. As this gap closes, it builds more integrity in us. So this process of hearing it and then examining ourselves and thinking about this will help us to grow in our maturity, to become more authentic, and it'll create depth in your life. No longer hollow, shallow thoughts. And if you ever get a chance to address people, and I think maybe too many people are making public addresses to people, but if you ever get a chance to talk to people about something, you'll actually have something to say to people. You will no longer just be a voice, but you will become somebody that people want to listen to because they will see in you genuineness, authenticity. They will sense that there's depth in your life because you're doing what you're talking to people about. I want to have credibility with people. Even though I'm retired from the pastorate and from ministry, I still find that I have occasion to talk with people, to listen to people, try to help people along. So I've been kind of working on a few things that I want to be true about myself. I'm not saying copy these. I'm just saying this is where I'm at, where I'm trying to go. I want to respect and value people. I intend to be kind to people. I will be generous with the things I have. I will work at being a servant by simply asking, how can I help? I will not be an antagonist, always opposing and struggling against others. I will impact people with God's love and grace whenever I get a chance. I take the teachings of Jesus seriously, and I really want to live them out. I will always try to represent Jesus in the best way possible. I will resist mixing politics with my faith. I believe this always weakens faith. If I have an issue with somebody, I will try to go to them and talk about it if possible. But if I can't, I will never put it on social media. I want credibility. And I think for me, as I've tried to think about this, I think these will help me come across in a credible way and in a kind way. I agree. Our world needs many changes. We have some serious problems from our top leadership all the way down. But sometimes the need for change is a call for us to make some personal changes. Everyone is thinking about changing the world, but no one thinks of changing themselves. But I believe the world will change when people who inhabit the world make changes. Hey, thanks so much for listening. I hope this was something that made you think a little bit about you and how you come across. It's just something to chew on. And so I hope it helped you. If you liked it, I hope you'll click like or subscribe if you haven't, if you're into that kind of thing. And until next time, I hope you have a great week.